Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. Now we're gonna have the top 5 playoff performers. So we're gonna do that. The top 5 playoff performers this past season, this postseason. At number 5, I'm going to go with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis had a great playoff run. He did the best he could. Couldn't really close the deal. Not really a part of his game, but defensively he changed a lot of outcomes, so he did his job. If he could have got a little more help from Brook and those guys, I think they could have did well, but the injury to Chris Middleton really hurt them. Not saying Chris Middleton is the reason why they're where they're at. No, the thing is, Chris Middleton added a certain dynamic which took the pressure off of those guys. But Giannis Antetokounmpo is the 5th best player of the playoffs. I mean, he did an extraordinary job. He did his job. He did his thing on both ends of the floor. Leadership-wise, he came to his team's aid a lot more than not. To me, if they can add to that bench and add a legitimate point guard to help those guys, I believe they will be a lot better. They'll be a better team and everything. So be on the lookout for Giannis coming to the next season, but he was the 5th best playoff performer. Now at number 4, this was kind of tough, but at number 4, I would go with Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic had a great playoff performance. The games he played in, albeit the Warriors series, played an extraordinary game, beat the Phoenix Suns, who were the number 1 seed, played great against the Jazz when he wasn't there. When he got back, took the team to another level. I felt like he came back too fast. He should have waited a couple games, but I was wrong. So he did great. Now, what he has to work on is his defense. Down the stretch, he makes some good shots, but he also has to learn how to play off the ball, or he's going to be like LeBron is, a guy who can only play with the ball in his hands. Something he has to work on. He has to work on, moving the ball around, playing the offense, letting the offense set. You can't be trying to do everything, because you're not going to win. The less you do, the more that will help the team win the game. So that's number 4. Number 3, I would go Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is the 3rd best playoff performer this year. He had a great postseason. Couldn't quite close the deal. When he played in the games he needed to play in, where he was dropping 40, he was a beast. You have to give him his credit. I know I talk shit about him, but Jimmy did great this playoffs. Defensively against Trae Young, against James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, being able to switch between guys. Even in the finals, his defense against the Eastern Conference Finals, his defense against Jason Tatum was extraordinary. You got to give him props for what he did and how he did it. Much respect to him. Much respect. Now, that was my number 3. Now, at number 2, I'm going to go Jaylen Brown. And people are like, Jaylen Brown? Like, where's Tatum at? Tatum, to me, was not better than those 3 guys that I named. Jaylen Brown was the 2nd best playoff performer. If you go back and watch those games he had in Brooklyn, he had in Milwaukee, those last 2 Game 6 and Game 7 games, how he came out, set the tone. Tatum, I think, closed down the stretch, but Brown also closed. If you watch the Golden State series, Brown was closing. If it wasn't for him, they wouldn't have won those 2 games. His defense is very underrated. His defense on Kyrie, his defense against Drew Holiday. At times he had to switch on the Giannis, him and Tatum, but he had a more effective defense. And in the finals, his defense on Wiggins was very extraordinary, very underrated. I just wish if they had a point guard, he probably could have got them the win. But he is the 2nd best playoff performer. Now, Like I said, honorable mentions, Jason Tatum, even though he had the worst Golden State Finals, it is what it is. Another honorable mention is Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins, my goodness, what can I say about Andrew Wiggins? Andrew Wiggins played his ass off, and he deserves to get a contract. He did his job. And I think within that system, he was a key contributor, and he did what KD was doing in that offense, even though it's not on KD's level, but it was very effective. More of a Harrison Barnes in the offense than a Kevin Durant. He did his job defensively on Tatum, gave Tatum problems, but he also had help on the defensive end, and switching off, and his defense against Brown was key as well. So you got to give him respect. He's an honorable mention. Another honorable mention. Who do I have? Another honorable mention, I would say Jaren Jackson Jr. Jaren Jackson Jr. had a great playoff run, especially when Ja wasn't playing. He played his ass off. He did his job. Loved his charisma, loved his toughness, loved him trying to lift the team up. So those are honorable mentions. Now, the number one guy, the best player who had the best playoff performance is Superfly Curry. Superfly. Superfly Curry had the best playoff performances. You gotta give credit where it's due. I criticized the man the past 2 years because to me, he's not that type of guy, but he is in his own right. The guy's amazing. He plays the system well. To me, he's a great superstar player. To me, he's a superstar player that is like a role player as well. He knows how to switch up his position. If his shot is off, instead of us, him forcing shots like the legends would do, this guy here says, "Nah, I'm gonna take the shots that are given to me. I'm gonna make sure the team is eating." And this is a guy who came in the league. Nobody expected him to be this great. Nobody, not your mama, not your daddy, not your sister's brother, not anybody. Everybody thought that Steph Curry was just gonna be a one-hit wonder, and that's the truth. That's the truth. Everybody thought that. I knew he would be good coming into the league. I didn't know he was going to be extraordinary, but I knew he would be good. Defensively, he's gotten better. He played good in the finals. In the finals, especially the game they were down, he brought those guys back, did his thing. He did what he had to do. When he was having a bad game, he pushed the ball to Wiggs, to Clay, to Gary Payton II, to Jordan Poole. He deferred. So he to me is a superstar role player, but hey, the guy's a role player because he plays different roles. He doesn't have to be a superstar. He could be everything else if he wants to. So he played great. Can't hate, nothing like that. Like I said, in this era, you can say he's the best. He's a superstar in this era. But overall, his eras, I just don't see him as a top 50 player. But he's in my top, I say he's in my top 50, top 60, 65 ish. Great player, but to me, he's not the greatest as far as point guard or two guard. He's not the greatest in that, but he's in the top 75 for sure. He's at 65. You got to put him in that list. But as far as top 50, I don't know. But we'll revisit it. He's in other people's top 50. He's in some people's top 5 or top 10. No argument for me, but I just think that's a little too high for him. I can't put him over point guards like Dennis Johnson. I can't put him over KJ. KJ, his problem was he couldn't leave them little girls alone, allegedly. So that's why he hasn't gotten the same cred as everybody else. But Steph Curry is, like I said, first ballot Hall of Famer. has had the most impact in the game since Kobe Bryant. He's had the most impact. Kobe passed him the torch, not LeBron's. So thank you guys for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, share this. Hit the notification bell to select all to receive upcoming notifications. And if you guys do love what you hear, you guys can go to the description box, hit that Cash App link. That can take you to my Cash App. You guys can donate whatever your heart's desire. And if you guys, when we have a live or a premiere video, you guys can super chat. You can super chat. And also, if you don't do that, you can also do a super thanks. So thank you guys for listening. Let me know how you do. If you agree or disagree, let me know in your comment section. Thank you for listening. We out. Deezy.